Hey guys, before we get started, we want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We have another week of Champion Sports Talk, and this week we have a host and a co-host and a co-co-host. We got Shannon and Joey in the house. How are y'all?
Doing great. How are you?
This is Shannon's first. She's been in the studio with me several times, but her first Champion Sports Talk.
Awesome.
She's going to hang out with us for a few minutes.
I'm excited.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah. As always, we are driven by Sango GMC. My buddy Mark Sanguinetti over there. Before we get started, a couple of housekeeping things. Man, that storm last night was crazy.
It was bad.
Just wanted to say our partner Jason Hennington at Jason's Body Shop, if you have any damage, he does complete body shop work, paint, even got a tow truck over there. So make sure to call him for that. And also Wardo's has the Wardo's run coming up on December the 9th. Want to put that on your calendars. And then on a more serious note, as always, thinking about our military guys and gals across with this crazy world going on, always know that we're thinking about you guys. And we have some viewers over in Kuwait, and so that's always fun. And then Joey has a family member, a niece. It's Amy Feimer. Yeah. We won't go into all her medical details, but if you're the praying type, and I know a lot of you are out there, just keep her in your prayers.
She's going through chemo Friday, so.
Okay. Well,
sure.
We'll keep her in our prayers. And
Thank you.
I always say we're a sports show, but we're also a human being show.
That's
so
right.
We like to start it out like that. So, Joey, you want to dive into some local sports? We got some exciting stuff.
What? I know.
Yeah.
This time of year is always busy. Right?
It is.
I know you're going from one place to the other,
Uh-huh.
keeping everybody alive. Well, most everybody.
Trying.
Present company included.
That's right. 100%.
Of course, we got to start off. Big congrats to ACCS. Defeated Simpson Academy 47-29 at Jackson Academy last Thursday. Man, they won it in 2018. Had every playoff game on the road, and the same deal this year.
Right.
They were the number 10 seed, had to go on the road, and boy, that worked out great for them. And this game wasn't like the previous two. It's kind of had to sweat out those last two, but this one they just put it on cruise control, took care of business. So
They were ready.
They were.
Yeah, I was at a little music thing down at Smoots, and I looked up and they had it on the middle TV. And
Okay.
it was 12-0 at that point, and I started kind of paying attention. I was like, man, they put a whipping on those boys.
They did.
Yeah.
And Adrian Walker with the kickoff.
Excellent game. Yeah.
That kind of
really broke it open right there.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely. Yeah. It did. But Coleman Carter, 88 rushing. He was 7-12 for 84 yards and a touchdown. And of course, David King, man, salute to him. He's 115-40 at ACCS, and you're doing headmaster job too.
That's right.
You know how that is.
Well, a little bit. Never had to coach football though, but I did see behind the scenes the things that David and his coaching staff have done over the years. And
I'm glad you brought that up because there's been a little post on Facebook going around saying, all you people who have been bashing coaches, here's where you can sign up for next year. And I'm thinking, most people could not handle the drama. Never mind the X's and O's and the ball game, but the drama that nobody sees.
Look, I even stay away from the stands as a former mom, and then, of course, now in the positions you're in now, you just kind of have to. But I can remember Michael Lindsay coaching baseball, and I was the Diamond Girl sponsor for him, and Heather and I would purposely go out to the end of the dugout and sit, and I would sit with her because it just, I understand the emotion and getting into it, but, be kind. Those coaches work extremely hard, and they don't see the behind the scenes that we do. And so kudos to all of them.
This kid may have been suspended. This kid may have been in a fight. I know some kids who got thrown out of the house and had to stay with a relative.
Right.
You mean in 2023, people get on social media and say
Believe
things
it
that they
or
don't know what they're talking about?
Happens.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I'm going to be quiet on that one.
But anyway, we'll move on back to
Again,
sports.
Congrats again to
That was Coach King's number 6. Is that right overall?
Let's see. He has won total of.
Maybe I made that
I
up.
think it's 5 or 6. He has won 4 state titles. Trinity, 2 now at A6.
Okay, yeah, number 6 overall. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
Yeah, that's a really big deal.
And I get to say that my son was a part of 3 of those.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
I know,
Awesome.
going on. So
Yeah.
when he was a freshman, Stephen Ridley, and that
Okay.
crew went. And then, of course, he was part of the back-to-back state
Yeah.
champions.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. But it's
That
good to
is
see
cool.
because now his dad helps, David, and they're still involved. And, of course, Eric and Kent stay in touch, and they're,
Mhm.
still involved in that world, too. So it's
That's
kind of
great.
the legacy piece is
I'll tell you
amazing.
what, I knew Stephen was a good guy, but after I met his mother,
Oh,
I know where it comes from.
That's-
And there's no flies on Carolyn Ridley. She is amazing.
She's a sweetheart of a lady.
She is.
And speaking
I always
of
enjoy
strange
sitting there and
things,
talking to her.
yeah, Jake had an article this week, and this is crazy. I don't know if you saw it or not. Wichita Christian, they had last week a playoff game. Their quarterback threw a 98-yard touchdown to the receiver. Tied a record. It's held by the quarterback's dad and the receiver's dad.
What?
Oh, I did see
Wow,
that.
it's
I
just
did see that because it was
Wow.
like, you're not going to believe this story or something.
Yeah.
And I read that.
Oh,
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Of course,
Yeah.
Stephen Fitchie, you don't get much better
Yeah.
than him coaching. He knew it right away. He
Yeah.
went over right to him at the
Wow.
bench. So that's, but there's
Yeah.
some big games this weekend, too. Mangum Oak Grove.
That will be a
That's
great
gonna be fun.
game.
That will be.
But getting
Yeah.
back to our local scene, your school, Delta Charter,
Mm-hmm.
bless Patrick Jackson's heart. They dropped a couple to Sterlington. It's bad enough you're young kids and you need to play in a team like Sterlington. But girls lost 73-8. You got, 9th graders and 8th graders.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Very young, yeah.
Yeah.
Very young and but super proud because they're hanging in there. They've been, they've had to wait because we went into the playoffs on the boys' side, so they haven't had a lot of practice time.
Right.
And so our team's very young, but I'm super proud of them still
Sure.
doing it, getting out there, working hard, and so just wait. The great things are coming in the next
They
few
are.
years.
And I don't mean to interrupt. I want to, since we have Shannon here, kind of give you a minute to talk about this past football season from the admin side, from
Sure.
the school. Just brag on the kids for a minute or whatever.
For sure. Very proud of Coach Wheeler and our team and the coaching staff that stepped up to volunteer. He was kind of shorthanded when we first started out. Coach Davis stepped on board to help out in that, but just a shout out to the dads and the volunteers. Like we had volunteers on that sideline that their children have graduated.
Yeah.
So that just shows not only Delta Charter, but Faraday, just the town itself. They always stand up and do what's right by those kids when it comes to sports, academics, and it's only going to get stronger. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Coach Wheeler, his staff, and of course the students. Our seniors, like you, played your hearts out, and I was very proud of them. They had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and they did it. A lot of people
They did.
did not expect them to make it to the playoffs, and we did.
I didn't
You
expect
know,
them to win district.
No, right. And we're
Yeah.
district champs.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
we set a record and very proud of Coach Wheeler, our guys, and a shout out to our parents and our community for supporting these kids and the continual support. Like I said, it's only going to get better.
It is.
We're going to work together and continue to grow. And I just want them to know how super proud, not only the admin staff, but the teachers, our board, just of what they accomplished this school year
That's
Yeah.
in a short amount of time.
And we're thankful as all of us as our little Miss Lou Champion sports talk and spotlight team and all that, everything we've got going. We're thankful because we had so many parents that followed us through the year and just really interacted and shared and commented, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're a
and
fun team to watch.
Yeah.
they really were. And
we
I
had
would
Coach
say,
Wheeler on a couple of times.
yes,
It was really great.
and we appreciate that because, we're kind of in our own little world, but we are offering so much for kids, and it's not a competition against anybody. What we're doing at Delta Charter just provides an opportunity for students to have that choice. And so super blessed to be a part of it, and just glad to be sitting here to brag on them and then to also,
Yeah.
hang in there. And that was what I was on the way here, just to kind of on David King and all that. I mean, Steve Davis at Natchez High and I worked together as teachers. And so I got to thinking every coach that's in our schools, Josh West, Coach Cummings, you know, in our area, half of Natchez High taught. Like, I walked out on the football field last year for flag. Yes, and Josh too.
Yeah.
And so I was already gone by the time Josh kind of came around, or I was there for a little bit because I left in 2014. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you know, I was there for 19 years. But moving on into that, just the legacy piece of being a part of these kids' lives that are now young men that are coaching. And then, of course, those of us that are a little bit of a legacy and continue with that piece. So I got to thinking about that. So I'm like,
some explicit coaches as well.
Yes. So help coach those kids. I mean, teach those kids, and then of course side by side with it. So
well, I think
it's kind of cool to
this
do that.
area has really kind of, I guess, confirmed what we were hoping by starting this was that let's you know, kind of, if you build it, they will come. We were like, if we put this out there and try to support our local teams, they deserve it.
They do.
They deserve for us to take the time out of our busy schedules to do something like this. And the coaches have been great. Everybody's been very responsive. The parents, the schools, the admin, everybody has worked to help us make this possible. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and I just want to give a little challenge to our viewers is, you know, football is all fun. Everybody loves football for the most part, you know, but continue to support our basketball, soccer, baseball, track, all of the great things, soccer, all of those good sports that are coming along. Get out there, challenge night, take a family night, bundle up. It's going to get a little cooler, but go out and support our kids. Win or losing, they're working hard, and we need you to support them and to know that, hey, we're here for you. Continue to work hard. And so that's my challenge. Go see a sport you wouldn't necessarily go see.
And that kind of segues into, you know, kind of moving forward on our local sports talk. I think that we're probably a little bit more basketball talk, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Doughty Charter Boys got beat 57-16. That's one thing Patrick talked to me about. He said, the thing I've got to do is not let these kids get discouraged.
Is that Mr. Patrick Davis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take your beatings right now. Don't get discouraged because better things are ahead.
Well, and it's his first year coaching too. Right. Like, he's never coached basketball on his own as a head coach, and we're trying to provide that support to him as well. So I just want to, you know, give a shout out to parents and kids too to, like, don't ever quit anything you start, because you might be so surprised. Look at the statistics of so many team sports starting out not so strong and then coming out on the end. Mm-hmm. And so that's just what, you know, that perseverance is important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Moving to Cathedral, Lily Burleson, she had a good game, 19 points. They beat River Oaks 54-41 Saturday.
Okay.
And Marley Hargan and her sister Hannah had good games as well. Cathedral girls are now 4-2.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the boys defeated Tensile last Thursday, and Cam Tanner had 8 3-pointers. That's amazing. 8 3-pointers, and it's just what they've done so far is just absolutely great.
There's no better feeling as a fan to watch that and watch them from outside that gate and those arms go up. There's nothing better than that.
Absolutely. And just to keep doing what they're doing. Justin Hawkins had 14 points, and the boys are 4-2, so they're getting off to a good start.
I think the girls, Taylor messaged me the other day, and this was before this weekend's game, and they said the girls were 6-2.
Okay.
And the boys were 3-2 at that point. That was going into this past weekend.
Okay, good deal.
So yeah, so we thank you for reaching out for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and Taylor's amazing. He and Eric played, and to football together, and then I used to watch him play basketball. Great kid back then. I haven't seen him as an adult, but that's another one that's out there and still playing.
Yeah, and we'll get those guys on too as the season goes, and let them brag about the young men.
And you know, it's tough with basketball. You get these breaks, holiday breaks, and
you're playing.
Yeah, you're playing. Plus, you know, it's hard to focus right now.
It is.
But
because it's busy. Sometimes they'll have 3 and 4 games a week, and tournament season on top of that.
Moving on to Natchez High. Of course, David Haywood's coach there. I remember covering David when he played.
Oh, David was one of
David's a good guy.
He was under Coach Mike Martin, as you know, that was there. We were all there together, and to watch him blossom and do some great things. You know, he was Twin Towers back in the day.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Troy and
yeah.
Audrey, yeah.
Oh, good
They
days
were
though.
fun.
It was fun to watch.
They were. The boys are 4-0. Ronald Ellis, he was at Delta Star last year. He is averaging about 16 points. Preston Jackson, 15 points. Now, David's son is a sophomore. David
He is.
Haywood, and he's one of the top 5 in the state in assists.
You should have seen him last year as a 9th grader.
Really?
Yes, he was good.
Okay.
He was following his dad's footsteps, but yet being his own player. You know,
Yeah.
he had his own little
Absolutely.
skills to that.
And Keelan Smith, he is 2nd in the state in block shots. He's averaging about 8 a game, which is amazing. Wow. Yeah. The girls, of course, Al Falcomore, she does a great job. They're 3-1. They're playing Southern Lab tonight. I think that's at 5 o'clock, so that'll be a fun game. And then the boys are playing block right after that. Because Southern Lab boys still in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Renee Ellis, you're familiar with her.
Yes.
Great kid. She's leading them. And Colleen Kennedy, Faith Gutter, they're doing a good job. Of course, she's a great coach.
She is, and I've got to be a part of the state champ. I have my state champion ring from the year they were state champions. I was assistant principal that year.
Awesome.
And so just to watch her on the court coach those girls and then behind the scenes be that supporter for them, she's just amazing as an athletic director, and she has promoted Natchez High and our city so well and carrying herself as I look forward to seeing the great things she does as she moves on.
And real quick, Coach Haywood, Coach Haywood, I met him a while back, and we had a really good conversation one evening. And one of the things that jumped out to me, this was before basketball. We talked a little basketball and stuff. That one of the things that's very important to him is to teach these young men how to be productive citizens and how to have productive lives and provide for their future families and all of that. And that's always nice because it's, you know, it's as we talked about before, wins and losses is one thing, but you know, in today's world, young men need strong mentors, and I think he's a good, strong mentor for them. So I just want to say that to all the viewers out there. I think people need to know that about him.
They do, and I can
really impressed me.
And him as a student, they would come and practice before school, eat breakfast together, go to school, and then practice again after.
Yeah.
So they, you know, came together and worked together and was mentored as well. And so he's had that great legacy as well.
Awesome.
And I was shocked that Faraday boys and girls are in tournaments, that they got their games in. I can't believe they were on the road last night.
I know.
Faraday girls had lost to Arcadia 59-15, and the boys lost to Marksville 59-53, and they'll both be back.
Yeah.
Of course, AC girls, they're 1-0. They play Tensas Monday. The boys obviously haven't got started yet.
Yeah. They
play River Oaks tonight. Vidalia is playing Franklin Parish tonight. That's going to be a couple of good games right there.
That will be good.
The girls are playing well. They're 2-0, and it'll be. Now I'm anxious to see how they do. The boys lost to Buckeye Friday, but this is a big test for them. So good luck to all our team.
Yes, for sure. And happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving week.
Is that everything? Is that all?
I got to mention also Faraday boys lost at Kentwood, but they're among many that have lost at Kentwood.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
We don't want to. I mean, it is what it is. Right. It was a tough game. Kentwood's a very good team. Yeah. Very tough environment, but without worrying about that game, that's just sometimes you get those. Yeah. But congrats on a great season.
For sure. And I was so proud because they worked hard. Coach Cummings and his staff, you know, they have worked extremely hard of guiding these young men as well when you talk about mentors and having them on those teams and to see them progress from where they were. Just they're getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So congratulations to those seniors. They have my heart. And also to the rest of the team. I was extremely proud. I followed them. And so just wanted to say congratulations to Coach Cummings because they did have a great season. Yes. They pushed through. And they need to hold their heads up high. There's nothing to be ashamed about at all.
Well, it was like we were talking about with Jarrell. We don't need them to get off to a fast start, which they did. And, and I talked to their coach, who's a great guy, and he said, you know, I was surprised at how well we did. But I also shout out to this lady right here. When she was at Faraday High, I've never seen such great involvement. Kids were just like, we've never had anybody put that much interest in what we're doing. And man, I know they miss you.
Oh no, they're in good hands now. They are, and I miss them, but I get to see them.
What you gave them, they hadn't had in years. So
well, I appreciate that. I love them, and you know me in sports. I mean, I'm gonna be all in anyway. You can ask my husband; he knows, and my kids. Sometimes I'm that loud voice. I'm like, "Do y'all hear me? Do I embarrass y'all?" They're like, "No, ma'am, it's fine."
Well, that's
thank
one of the
you
reasons
for that.
we're proud to have her on the team. She's enthusiastic about everything and a champion. I posted this morning saying Thanksgiving. I'm really proud to have all of you guys and Dustin on my team that we've kind of built over the last couple of years. Thank you all for everything that you're doing. It's for us as a little team, but really what we're all trying to do is for the community. Mm-hmm. Everything that we do, we're hoping adds value to the community. So thank you all for that.
Well, you're a great inspiration for us.
That's right.
Thank
you, man. Shannon, we appreciate you coming out.
Well, thank you for having me.
Unfortunately, I got to spend the rest of the show with 2 turkeys. I've got Joey and Gregg that I got to spend the rest of the show with, so I'm getting turkey a little early.
That's right.
But thank you for coming out.
Of course.
And we'll be right back after a quick break with Craig Jackson with some college and pro talk.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're in the studio today with one of our awesome partners, Mr. John Hicks from Hicks Chiks, and we are here for a challenge. I grew up with a mama that could throw down in the kitchen.
I hear you.
So I'm used to homemade.
I think you'll be happy.
So I'm gonna taste these and I'll let you know from my expert homemade mama cooking how good these are.
They're good, I can tell you.
All right, John.
What do you think?
You win. This is delicious.
I told you.
It's unbelievable. I'm truly amazed that it tastes this good. It's that easy.
It's almost too easy.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We're out at our awesome partners, Gregg Veterinary Clinic, and we are in the back in the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. I'm standing in the Magnolia Bell Suite, which is one of 5 elite boarding suites available to your 4-legged furry friends when you travel this summer. Each suite comes with a private bed, flat screen TV, 24/7 video monitoring, and a sliding door so your pet feels like they're home. They provide one-on-one walking and activities in a fenced-in private backyard. So call Gregg Vet Hospital today and request your pet suite at the Barkley Pet Hotel and Spa. They'll leave the light on for you. Call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
My name is Yvonne Ivory. I'm the lab director here at Trinity Medical. I have 40 years of medical laboratory experience.
Hello, my name is Mary Cubic. I am Trinity Medical Outpatient Specialist, and I've been doing this for over 40 years.
Our lab offers numerous services. We have an exceptional outpatient department. We provide phlebotomies and venipunctures for tests requested by physicians. Trinity Lab has the newest, most innovative equipment for specimen processing, yielding quick turnaround times for results. Doctors are able to diagnose and treat patients in a timely manner for faster healing. Our newest addition is our in-house microbiology department.
Hi, I'm Fayla Giddon, and I am the lead microbiology tech here at Trinity Medical. I have over 24 years of experience, and this is our brand new microbiology department. So if the doctors suspect infection, that's where we bring the cultures back here. We set them up on different types of media, depending on what type of culture it is. So if we have some growth, it'll be something like this. So we do some offline tests where we determine if it's gram positive, gram negative, and then we're able to set it up on our machines, and it's able to tell us the organism. It gives us an ID, and it also gives us a sensitivity, which shows the doctor what drug will treat the patient and kill the organism.
Here at Trinity, we are committed to providing excellent patient care and services to promote the healing of our patients and our community.
All right, guys, we are back with more of our Thanksgiving week episode of Champion Sports Talk. And like I said in the previous episode, now I'm joined by two turkeys.
You stole my line, Ron. You stole my line.
That's why I wanted to get it in first.
Oh, man. So help me, I was going to use that. I was going to say, I'm surrounded by a bunch of turkeys
That's
here.
right. That's right.
He got.
And I think we're correct on both aspects.
Yeah,
I think they're both true.
Good call.
We're gonna have Gregg join us for some from college and sports, college and pro talk today. But Joey forgot one thing on the local side, so let's.
The Monterey High School basketball doubleheader starts next Wednesday, and man, I went looking back to see how old this tournament is. I got to the 70s. I'm going, my goodness. Got to 65 and it was still playing. Natchez was in it, Faraday and Vidalia, the Cathedral. So this is a great tournament. And, of course, Eric Richard does a great job with the boys, Joe Barron's father with the girls. But it starts off Grant versus Faraday next Wednesday, boys and girls. Next Thursday, Vidalia versus Doré, Monterey against Central. And then next Friday, Vidalia versus Grant and Monterey versus Faraday. And, man, I just always love talking to Eric Richard. You know, they won their first game, and I said, man, look out, you're still undefeated. He said, yep. At least we got that one win. Next game they lost. He said, well, everything's off the table now. We're not going to finish undefeated, and we're not going to finish without losing again. Man, he does a great job. They're playing some good ball, both of them.
Yeah.
I actually watch a lot of their games online or partially online because Andy Magoon is a friend of mine, and he's a big Monterey supporter.
Oh.
And his son plays there, so shout out to Jack. And Jack's got a really good shot, and so I get to see a lot of clips of them, but they're just not real tall, but they play really hard and fast. So it's fun to watch teams like that.
And on the girls' team, Addie Lacaz, she's like 80-something points shy of 1,000.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That is
very impressive.
And one of the things with we'll get into college here in just a second, but we'll be talking a lot more about Monterey too. We had football season. We started the show during football season, but now that we're transitioning into basketball and they have softball and baseball and all that too, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So we'll be talking a lot more about Monterey. We didn't forget about you guys. We love you down there, and we will be covering you also. Yeah, good people down there.
Hoping to see Delta Charter in that tournament one year in the near future.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I think y'all play during the regular season.
I'm not sure again, but
I know they'd love to have y'all.
Definitely look forward to that. I know it will happen in the near future.
They said that tournament's so old that Coach Faircloth actually had hair when it started.
Wow. Hey, I got to tell you, I texted Keith Alalio, he was a quarterback for Faircloth.
Coach, you already did.
Absolutely. So last week I stopped at Vidalia Market. It was raining a little bit, and who do I pass in the parking lot? Nobody other than the legend himself.
Was it Fish Friday?
It was not on Friday, but he had on the old school coaching shorts that you lace up, had his ball cap on, high top white socks. I mean,
that's right.
God, I love that. I just love that. And I texted Keith Lally. I just saw your old coach, man, and it looks just like it made me feel young again.
Man, he still looks great. I mean, he's still he's a legend, man.
And his nephew Rob is a defensive coordinator at Gina, and man, they're playing some ball.
Yeah, Gina.
He's proud of Rob too. Yeah.
Gina's doing extremely well.
Well, man, let's. I think what I'm going to do is I've got some things written down that I'm interested in hearing you guys' thoughts on, and I'll just kind of throw it at you, and we'll. So let's start with the Heisman race, because us all being LSU guys, this is kind of interesting right now. We've known that we've been kind of watching as LSU fans Jaden Daniels do this all season, but I feel like these last couple of weeks, I think that Florida game was kind of like that national trigger where people were like, man, this kid down here at LSU, nationally they're starting to see, and he hasn't done anything to disprove them yet.
Exactly.
So who would you say, I think the betting odds, if I'm not mistaken, getting into your lane now is Nix and Daniels are the top two favorites right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but it's real close. The Washington quarterback
Penix, yeah.
He had a couple of weeks of where he looked very average. I watched him the whole game a couple of weeks ago just to see how good he was, and he's good. But if the eye test means anything, he didn't look near as good as Daniel.
Yeah.
He really didn't. And the problem I have with Hicks, and I bet you Joey has the same thing, it's hard to forget that he was at Auburn 3 years ago. But then I have to remind myself the year before Burrow won the Heisman that he was just a very average quarterback at LSU the very year before. But Bo Nix has stepped up. But Daniel's stats.
Well, he's 46 too.
At least. Yeah, I was thinking.
The fact that he's still able to play at this age is says
I
a lot about his
thought
experience.
he played the national championship game for us in 2012 that we lost to Alabama. But truthfully, Daniel's stats.
I'm talking about Nix, yeah.
I was talking about Nix. He played in the 2012 with LSU.
Yeah.
Then went to Auburn, and now he's
That's
at Oregon. I think he's going to be at Stanford next year, but getting his master's.
Yeah.
But Daniel's stats are just unreachable by anybody else. I mean, he's got 1,000 more yards than both of the other two front runners, and I promise you, when you compare their schedules, the Pac-12 looks really good this year, but it's because you have several really good teams or teams that are winning at a higher rate than they have in the past. But when it comes to playoff time, the Pac-12 has been non-existent for a reason. So at the end of the day, and I know it hurts people's feelings, but the Pac-12, until it shows otherwise, is just not on the same level as the SEC or even the ACC when Clemson's at the top of their game or the Big Ten. I'm not saying that this year won't be any different, but I think we'll see it play out in the playoff.
And I just saw something about Daniels. It was all three of those quarterbacks' first top 50 defenses. It's not even close. I mean,
that's my point.
It's ridiculous. So, Joey, do you think?
I think Saturday is a huge key to this. The A&M's got a good defense. If he puts up good numbers against an A&M, to me that locks it.
Do you think? I mean, do you think with a good performance, a Heisman performance on Saturday, do you think it's fair to say he's the front runner?
Definitely. I'd say he deserves to be the winner. Absolutely. If he has a big game against A&M, and let's face it, it's helped that LSU has no defense because he's had to do it.
So we all agree that I think he deserves the Heisman.
Yes.
Is that fair for everyone?
Yeah, I think
very fair.
So that's one thing that we all agree that he deserves it. The other conversation is, what do you think will happen in reality? Because I have a different opinion on that. I think in reality what's going to happen is the media is going to give it to Bo Nix.
I'm worried about that because they're undefeated, and
one loss,
one loss, Washington's undefeated, but it does matter how well your team performs.
Yeah. It does,
But LSU hitting 8-3 because of Daniels.
Yes,
I mean, the 3 losses aren't because of him, but 8 wins are definitely because of him. But he is the reason why they're a top 20 football team.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
100%. So you can't. I think in a competitive conference with a way above average record, you should just be completely in the mix, and you can't just look at somebody's record because you're not comparing apples to apples at all.
Well, what I want to do now is I'm pulling it up on my phone. This is an interesting year because there are so many teams that have the potential, I think, to make the 4 teams. I mean, we're here in Thanksgiving. We have no idea who the 4 teams are going to be. I mean, this could go 100 different directions right now. And I think I'm looking, and there's 8 to 12 teams that I think are interesting. And what I want to do is I'm gonna start at the top. It'll probably be a little easier. I'm going to say contender or pretender, and you each give me, say, 15, 20 seconds as to why. And when I say contender or pretender, I mean a real chance to win the whole thing with a break or two. Georgia, contender or pretender?
Oh, definitely contender. Yeah.
Absolutely the contender.
The contender. The favorite, right?
The favorite.
Yeah, we'll get that out of the way. I'm going to go down the list, so it'll get a little tougher as we go. Ohio State, contender or pretender?
Contender.
Contender, contingent on this weekend.
Michigan.
Before I would have said contender. Now I don't see them making it.
I think Michigan's pretender right now. Okay.
I do.
I'm going. Seems like a cop out, but to me, one of the Big Ten teams is a contender, and this weekend will decide whether it's Michigan or Ohio State. So whichever one wins this game is a real contender. The other is a real pretender.
Which one is that?
I think Ohio State's going to win.
I'm with you on that. I think. Now, if you would have asked me this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought Michigan was the more physical team and all that. But we know what it is. Something weird's happening at Michigan. They've got a lot of distractions, but they haven't looked like themselves over the last couple of weeks now. I mean, it's hard for guys our age and to handle that many distractions going on in life. When you're 18 years old and you got your girlfriends and video games and football and family, and then all of a sudden coaches, that's pretty tough stuff.
Very, very tough. Very distracting.
Okay, so here's an interesting – I think this may – actually, these next two I think may be the two most interesting. Washington, contender or pretender?
I think they're a contender. They're playing good ball, and they could easily finish unbeaten.
I'm in the same boat. They're a contender right now.
Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb and say pretender right now with Washington because they did beat Oregon earlier in the year, but they have to play again. Is that correct? Yeah.
And I think Oregon's going to win that game.
I think Oregon's a much better team.
I do too. At this point.
Than Washington.
At this point of the season.
Yeah. And I read something interesting about Washington, and it was just an opinion article, but it did make me think, and they were like, they're really overachieving, but they don't have a lot of depth. And they were like, so they're not built for the long haul. They're not built for 14, 15 games. So I don't know if that's true or not. I can't say that I follow them that closely as far as recruiting, but it did make me think. And Oregon's peaking right now.
Oregon's playing some really good football.
This is kind of, even though I'm not a fan, I do have a friend from Baton Rouge, and her husband is a coach on this team. So I'm pulling for them, even though they beat LSU. But it's kind of a heartbreaker because of the quarterback situation. But Florida State
before the injury to Travis Jordan, I'd say contender, but now I have to say pretender.
I'm gonna take it a step further. It would probably do the college football world good if Florida could beat Florida State this weekend.
Yeah.
If not, Florida State definitely would need to lose the conference game. And I say that because at this point, Oregon or Washington should be one of the Final Four teams. And if Oregon upsets Washington, but Florida State somehow ends up undefeated,
you can't keep them out.
You can't keep them out, but they're a pretender, in my opinion, compared to the Georgia.
I agree, and I'm glad that you added that in because it's one of those things you're not really supposed to say out loud.
Yeah.
It's like, but it is because you got all those other kids involved, and they've worked so hard. But the fact is, without their quarterback, now you never know. Ohio State came in that year with a third-string quarterback and just ran Alabama off the field. And he said, "I'm not here to play school. I'm here to play football." Remember?
Yep.
But I guess you never know. To play devil's advocate a little bit, I guess you never know. But that's also the outlier.
Right.
Most times that next quarterback's not going to come in and play at a top 4 level.
And that's where the depth comes in.
Yeah.
And if Washington's quarterback goes down, they're in a whole different scenario than when Georgia changes quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Or teams like
What about Oregon? Contender or pretender?
I say contender. I don't know that they'll get in, but I say contender.
I think that they beat Washington in the championship game in the rematch, and if Florida State loses, I think they're a contender.
Yeah, I don't know how you can keep them out. That's going to be – I think if they come back and beat Washington, I think the eyeball test again, I think Oregon's just a better team, really. I mean, the way that they've been playing. Let's jump over to another interesting team they're good. They're very good. They played some close games recently, I guess, but Texas.
Yeah. What they're doing is phenomenal. And, I think they're a contender.
Are they a contender?
Yeah, I do.
This pains me. But Texas is a contender.
Yeah.
They played Alabama. Okay, I mean they deserve to get there if they finish the schedule out like they should.
Yeah.
They will absolutely deserve to be in the Big Four.
Okay. Speaking of Alabama,
I still consider them a contender. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see them get in. I mean, especially if they beat Georgia. But yeah, you know that Saban's going to be do some politicking if that's the case. And
oh yeah, yeah.
I still expect them to be in the top 4.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
We got a prediction here. Is that
you do?
Okay. Contender or pretender?
I think Georgia's going to beat them. I'm still going to say right now they're a pretender, but I will say that whoever wins the SEC championship game will be in the playoffs, but it won't be 2 of them this year, just because the way everything fell. Say Alabama wins, one of those teams are going there. You can't keep the SEC out.
Yeah.
But this isn't a year where 2 could get in, where if Alabama won, Alabama and Georgia could go. So
yeah,
Saban won't really have to politic because he's either going to be 2 losses and out,
right,
or it's going to change and Georgia's going to have to politic.
He doesn't have to, but he will.
But yeah, he made politic before the game.
And this is one that whenever I looked at the list, I was like, man, I forget about them, and I feel like I know what the answer is going to be on this. But we got Louisville sitting there at 10-1. I mean, are they a contender, a real contender? Or
I don't think they can get in.
Let's just say let's take off winning the whole thing. Let's just say to get to the Final Four.
Yeah, I
mean, they're pretty close.
I don't see them getting in the Final Four.
With Florida State down.
Yeah.
But that's kind of by default. Yeah, they're not a top 4 team. They're a pretender.
Do you see a scenario where they could sneak into the top 4?
I'll tell you what, I'll be honest. If there was a top 8, I don't think they're a top 8 team.
Really?
That's my personal opinion.
Even at 10-1.
And I've watched them and I see the lines and everything and they're
I don't think they're a top
team.
8 team, but do they have a top 8 resume? Because that's kind of 2 different.
Yeah, and I think maybe when it goes to 8, they could, but they would have to run the table from here out as well, obviously.
Stumble somewhere, yeah.
Right.
Okay. I think those are all interesting. Let's run through a couple of quick games real quick. Looking at the clock. Yeah, let's run through a couple of games from the weekend, and I'm just going to get your thoughts on who's going to win the game and just a quick insight. LSU A&M.
I got LSU by, I think it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. I'm going to say 7 points.
I like LSU. It's tough to cover double digits against A&M.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about this game is at 11 o'clock.
Right.
Daniels needs a big game, like Joey said. I hate the 11 o'clock start for Daniels in this big of a game. But he's going to be ready.
Iron Bowl. After Auburn's embarrassing loss last week, the $1.8 million butt kicking.
Thank you, might have another.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think Alabama rolls in this one.
Yeah, I think Auburn's train's off the track right now. This isn't a rebound game for them. This is a mail-it-in game.
Okay. Yeah, I think most people, you're going to find it's hard to find people that disagree with y'all on that one. Egg Bowl, State and Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I don't think there's any way Lane Kiffin's going to lose to State this year.
Ole Miss. And I have a question for you guys. How did it become the Egg Bowl?
You know, I've read before about that.
I don't know.
It had something to do with the shape of something.
Okay. I was just curious. You know,
Yeah.
I thought about, I get the boot between LSU and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Looks like a boot. I get the Red River Classic with Texas
Some
and
writer
Oklahoma.
wrote about it and somehow brought up the shape of an egg or something, and I think it caught on.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Might have been like the shape of the coach or something back then. One of them looked like an egg or something. One of them was frozen. I don't. That's just my guess. I don't know.
That's a good question, though.
Yeah, it is. I've got a researcher guy that will.
I really thought I was asking the dictionary, and I was going to get a very great answer.
And I've seen that, but it was so obscure I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to mention one thing.
Go ahead.
Brian Garcia for ULM. Coach Garcia's grandson.
Okay.
Got into the game against Ole Miss and completed his first ever pass at ULM.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, that was after he got a cheap shot, too. He threw a pass earlier and got 11. But he come back and looked good in the mop-up.
Them Garcias were some athletes.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Florida State, Florida.
Man, that's.
The battle of the backup quarterbacks.
I'm gonna go Florida State.
I think that Florida State, because they have something to rally around.
Yeah.
An undefeated season plus their leader, and he's really their leader.
Yeah, he's truly.
But what's often overlooked this year is Florida's quarterback. His stats mirror Florida State's quarterback almost yard for yard, touchdown for touchdown, interception for interception. Yeah. They both have a real high quarterback rating, like 178 and 173, which is off the charts. So I think Florida's going to be hurt worse. Okay. So I like Florida State.
Ohio State, Michigan. You already touched on it.
Yeah, I think Ohio State too.
Ohio State.
I think Ohio State.
It's at Michigan, right? But I still think Ohio State has won some pretty big road games.
Yeah, it's at Michigan. It's a 3-point favorite. I'm sitting here looking at this app, at least. I'm just looking at the schedule here. Oregon State at Oregon.
I think that's going to be a close one. I mean, it's a big rivalry. I still go Oregon, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
Think they're going to give them some trouble?
Yeah,
yeah, I think Oregon State could be a little bit let down after last week. That was a big chance for them to become part of the conversation. Yeah. But I still like Oregon.
I'm thinking Oregon big for some reason. I feel like they're still trying to make that point. Like, hey, they need some big. They need that wow factor.
They do.
For that
it would be good for them.
And then the last one in the game, but it's a line. It's over. Nebraska, Iowa at Nebraska. At least here, the total on the game right now is 26.5 points. Over under.
Every game this year, Iowa has had the lowest points total going into the game. Yeah. And so I was interested. I did some research like Joey would do. Their football field is actually 130 yards long. So it takes a lot more offense to score points. And that's why all their scores have been so low. Yeah, they're an extremely exciting football team.
I knew something happened up there. I just wasn't sure what it was.
They're not an engineering school. Okay?
Let's take a super quick break and we'll regroup and we'll do a little bit of pro talk and we'll do it. I think I want to do some contenders and pretenders in the pro talk too.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back after a quick break.
Play to win our Pumpkin Patch Progressive and Black Friday weekend drawings. It's time to gobble up over $50,000 in winnings at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time. Visit MagnoliaBluffsCasino.com.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. We want to tell you about our awesome partner, Dr. Gregg and Gregg Veterinary Hospital. Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002. They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care. Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans. And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too. So call Gregg Veterinary Hospital today.
Hey y'all, my name is Katie Bellamy. I'm the physical therapist here at Trinity Medical. Physical therapy is a health profession intended to promote, restore, integrate, and maintain physical health. We accomplish this through exercise, manual therapy, electrotherapeutic thermal modalities, and neuromuscular re-education, and a variety of skilled interventions. We treat pediatric patients, orthopedic patients, neurological patients, post-surgical, and specialize in fall risk assessment and management. Physical therapy helps identify and improve physical deficits with conservative treatment, which allows our patients to get back to the quality of life they deserve. If you have a physical therapy need, come see us here at Trinity Medical.
back at Champion Sports Talk.
Before we go any
our
further,
Thanksgiving version, what you got?
I got Craig's answer here.
Okay.
Egg bowl.
The footballs used in American football in the 1920s were considerably more ovoid and blunter than those in today, and so the trophy more resembles an egg. The term egg bowl can be traced back to 1978 when executive sports editor of the Clarion Ledger, Tom Patterson, decided to spice it up, and he said the egg bowl is up for scramble. So, like I said, I still have no idea.
Yeah. You know who I would have known? I'm trying to think of who would have known that. I'm thinking Walt Brown would have probably.
Oh yeah,
known
Walt
that.
would definitely know.
Walt would have known.
Yeah, that would have been
He would have been the man that would have known that one, I bet.
So I guess the trophy looked like an egg, so they just eventually named it the Egg Bowl.
Yeah.
There must have been using that old football.
We're gonna
book.
go with that, Craig.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Y'all can take that to the bank.
Sounds good here. That's right. I want to run through some NFL teams since we're about 10. Some teams have played 11. Some teams have played 10 up to this point. I'm just going to run through the divisions. And whenever I say contender or pretender, let's say championship game or Super Bowl. Not playoffs, but to make a real run in the playoffs. Starting AFC East, Miami Dolphins.
Championship.
You think contender or pretender? Think they can make a run?
Championship.
Okay. Contender or pretender, Miami Dolphins.
Contender. I've got 3 in the AFC, and they're one of them.
Okay. Buffalo Bills, contender or pretender?
Not the way Josh Allen is playing that.
I'm with him. Pretender.
Who would have thought that we'd have said that going into the year?
Well, he was my MVP
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah. Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, contender. I'd say Super Bowl.
That's my other strong contender.
Dark horse, yeah.
Well, yeah, they're the real deal.
Okay, so this team right here, a little bit surprisingly, is sitting at 7-3. Cleveland Browns.
I don't think they'll make it, but yeah, they have been surprising.
Contender or pretender? Pretender.
I think pretender now.
Pretender, yeah.
Boy, everything has just completely changed since Burrow got hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, with Cleveland, they lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think
what a bust that deal's been, huh?
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars. Sitting at 7-3.
Pretender.
Houston Texans at 6-4. Big, kind of a surprising team.
Yeah.
Do you think that they can put together a run?
I still say pretender.
Pretender,
but
I
a good.
do not like how much me and Craig are agreeing.
I know. I can answer some first. You want me to, Joey? I'm not following his lead, but we're thinking the same way.
Yeah.
Pretender. I do.
That's scary
I'm
right
enjoying this though. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the Houston's resurgence and C.J. Stroud coming in and playing some really quality football. I like that, but still pretender.
Building a pretty good little defense too. I think Stingley's playing some pretty good ball.
Yeah, he is for sure.
Silly one here. Kansas City Chiefs, contender or pretender?
Contender, definitely. I think they can make it to the Super Bowl. Obviously, they got some things to fix. That defense, very impressive.
That's my third obvious contender, but earmark this. They need a real burner.
Yeah.
They have not been the same since they lost Hill to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And now Miami has 2 burners on their team.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of drop balls last night. A lot of drop balls, and they're going to have to address this in the offseason. I think it's going to cost them this year. They've got to have somebody that can stretch the field, and they don't.
So do you think that before we jump to the NFC, so you're contenders, let's say Super Bowl, Kansas City Chiefs, they got a shot?
Yeah, all 3 of my contenders, I think, have a
Ravens.
shot. The Ravens, the Dolphins, and, of course, the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Ravens and Chiefs.
Okay. I think now that the Bengals are out of the mix, I think those are the 3 teams you look at. I think Jacksonville's got a shot at pulling, at making a run or not.
I think they're like Houston, in my opinion. They can win a playoff game, but I think it's going to catch up to them in the second round.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I think I agree with you guys on that. We got 3
contenders right now in the AFC: the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. Okay. Who you got? Who you got on that one? Out of those three, making the Super Bowl today?
Chiefs.
I've got to go with. I think Baltimore is just going to get it done this year, just because of their style of play. But only reason I didn't say Chiefs was because he did. But
I was gonna say Baltimore too. If you ask me right now to put money on this, I would say Baltimore.
I like their brand. They're physical.
Because of what you said a while ago, the burner. Like Kansas City's got some holes to fill.
Yeah.
I would say Baltimore right now too. Okay, let's jump over to the NFC side. Obviously Eagles, contender.
Definitely.
What about Cowboys? To make it, again, we're going to drop back to championship level, or AFC, NFC championship, or Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think they can get.
Can they make a run? Or
game, but I don't see them getting the Super Bowl.
Are they a contender to make the championship game?
I think so.
I'm pretender on them, even though they look unbelievable one week, then the next week they don't. So when you hit the playoffs, you're going to have 3 great weeks in a row, and they just don't. They hadn't pieced together in years 3 great weeks against quality teams. Now they looked great last week, and then
right.
you just don't know what the next week's gonna offer.
Yeah. Detroit Lions.
Pretender, even with that record. That record
8-2.
again. They did beat Kansas City the first game of the season, but they've played 2 other quality teams and lost both of those games.
Yeah, they were playing the 3rd or 4th place schedule probably.
They're playing the schedule's been pretty favorable to them. They did beat Kansas City though, but they did lose to 2 other teams that we'll be mentioning about going to the playoffs.
Okay. I probably wouldn't have mentioned this team a couple of weeks ago, but they've kind of got a little bit of resurgence going. And I think it's fair to mention them, the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, a pretender. I don't see them reaching the championship game.
Pretender. I've only got 2 teams in the NFC that I think are contenders.
Saints, contender or pretender?
Pretender.
We got contender, pretender, and what would be right here? Come on, Ronnie. What would this word be? No way. No way. How about that?
Wreck fender.
No way. They're going to get in the playoffs because they're in the weakest conference in football right now.
Let me ask you this. Do you see the push play being illegal next year?
I think if that was going to be illegal, they should have done it this year. But I watched that play again last night. The way they do it, nobody else can do it like them. So I don't have a problem with it because they are incredible at it.
Yeah. I mean, they know it's coming.
They know it's coming. Everybody. Yeah. I mean, the announcers last night said, well, we know what's coming now after the long ball when Smith caught the ball on the 1-yard line. They're 2 yards in the end zone. And on the replay, you could really see how those linemen look like
a scrum.
Probably Coach Faircloth probably loved it. He was like, that's how I used to make my linemen do. Get that low.
They're probably telling other teams, well, just do it.
The thing is, it's not that easy.
Exactly.
It looks easy until you try to do it.
Why isn't everybody doing it?
Yeah.
And I think it all starts with their center.
Everybody's trying to copy it. Yeah, it does. 49ers, I think probably your other.
That's my other contender.
Yeah, I have the Super Bowl.
What about the Seahawks sitting at 6-4?
Pretender.
Okay. So you guys are basically saying in the NFC it's a 2-man race, 2-team race.
That's how I feel.
49ers and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's
in the AFC, since in my opinion Buffalo with Josh having such a bad year, not a bad year, but
down year.
He has to have a great year for Buffalo to get there.
Right.
And with Cincinnati being eliminated, that really narrowed the field there because before I felt like they had 5 of the top 7 teams in the whole league.
I really think the Bengals could have made a run.
They were about to get going.
Yeah. Okay, so right now today, Eagles or 49ers?
49ers.
I'm gonna go Eagles and believe in them on that one.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles on that one too. Today, I mean they're looking very good. So wrapping up, Joey, you had
49ers and Chiefs.
49ers and Chiefs. Not at the beginning of the year. Today is that? If it was
At
today,
the beginning.
and this is, you still got
I'm still
okay.
going with
Okay, who you got winning as of today?
Chiefs.
Okay, what? And you had
I said Baltimore only to be different than him,
Okay.
but honestly, I believe it's going to be Kansas City and Philadelphia, and I think Philadelphia will win this year.
Okay. I'm going to say Baltimore, as of today, Baltimore and Philadelphia. And I would give Philadelphia the edge. So, yeah, well, that's a fun little recap, 10, 11 weeks into the season in the NFL. NFL is like soap opera for men. You just never know what's going to happen from week to week. And that's what makes it such a great league is the parity. You go through the season and you think you know everything. And somebody gets injury here, and all of a sudden it looks a lot different than what you thought. The only thing we knew for sure, the Saints weren't going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm still going to ride with that.
I'm pretty positive about that.
Yeah.
Let me switch a little bit and ask Gregg a question.
Okay.
Does Angel Reese return to the team?
I do have some friends down there that I asked that may or may not be on the inside a little bit. And the two things that I heard, one of them, she could probably work herself back on the team, but I wouldn't be surprised if she never showed back up.
Yeah.
She's definitely going to have an attitude change.
I don't think
it's deeper. It's going to be.
Yeah.
What I was told makes way more sense. What I was told makes way more sense the way things played out with her getting benched and then not coming back the next game and another player benched. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But showed up to the game, sitting on the bench. I don't know.
Yeah. Then there's some parent squabbles on social media right now.
Yeah, and that was about grades, but she's not academically intelligent.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Some people were saying, "Oh, she's." Well, she wouldn't have already been playing.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't have set her at halftime for that.
It's a different issue.
Yeah.
But even without her, I think they can win it.
I think 1,000%. I think she's a great double-double. I don't think that she's one of those girls that really just knows where the ball is going to be, and she's got a quick putback shot, and she's 6'3". She's not a small girl, but I don't think she has WNBA skills written all over her because, I think they're just more fluid.
Yeah.
I mean, the WNBA, because they have so few teams, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the NBA. You can be the best shooting guard in college, but you don't have the physical abilities to play in the NBA. And I think that's what her thing is going to be.
Yeah.
But I think they can absolutely win it without her because Kim Mulkey recruited tremendously this year.
Transfers
that freshman street for her.
And I'm even going to go a step further with a hot take is two hot takes. Number one, I don't think she'll be back. I think we've seen the last of her in the LSU uniform. The second hot take is I think they're going to be better without her.
I agree.
I think they're going to be a better team.
If the rumors are true, they're going to be way better without her.
I agree.
If the rumors that are, and I don't think we'll ever. I don't think we'll ever know.
Then I don't want to know. I don't care to know, and just fix it and move on.
I'll say this: if you never know, then that would make pretty much what we probably have heard true, because that would also put Kim Mulkey taking the highest of high roads, because she could decimate her career and her social media status if
she's going to be pounded by that question.
Yeah. And it's tough for young people. I mean, whenever you're on top of you're a college student one minute, then all of a sudden you're on top of the world the next minute, and you've got all these companies and NIL deals and social media and
I don't blame her for any of that.
That's a lot to handle. And I mean, I said this to somebody the other day. I said I hope people don't judge me at my worst. Because I've had a lot of worse, and I, she's a young person, and whatever the issue is, she can bounce back, and people will forgive her. And
she's making bank, and she has a career in something afterwards. But she's, the best I can tell, making around $800,000 right now for this year.
Yeah,
she's 3 times more than the WNBA women make. So she's okay.
That's $37,000 more than Joey makes in a year.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's right. Yeah. So,
All right, man. Well, let's get out of here. We got to get Tim on and get our locks of the week. But happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I
Hope y'all have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with Tim and our locks of the week. Take it to the bank, baby. Yeah.
Play to win our Pumpkin Patch Progressive and Black Friday weekend drawings. It's time to gobble up over $50,000 in winnings at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time.
Visit magnoliabluffscasino.com.
All right, guys, we are back. Thank Craig for coming out and spending a little time with us. We got Tim on the set with us today. Now, I'm sorry. How are you, man?
Doing well. How about you?
Doing well. A lot of interesting talk right now. We just went through on. I know you weren't here a minute ago, but we just went with Craig. We went through the college and pros. We did a lot of contender or pretender talk. The pros are at, some have played 10, some have played 11 now. So it's kind of like the the old coach. You are who we thought you are. We're starting to see who teams are who we think they are right now, maybe. So they've shown us who they are, which leads us to picking it.
You guys had to be feeling good after Saturday. Y'all hit y'all's, I missed mine. And you had to be feeling real good at halftime last night.
Yeah, about that. Halftime felt good.
Yeah. You've been on the Swifty train, and they let you down.
Let me down.
But
I cashed in my membership.
But even in saying, like, we know the teams are who we thought they are, these picks are getting more difficult.
Oh, they are.
Absolutely.
Because what's happening is that the Vegas or whatever sets these numbers. They're starting to see who teams are too,
right?
And they're setting the numbers accordingly. So right now, I'm sure Dustin's already put it on the screen, but right now, I'm 11-11-1. You're 11-11-1. You're 11-10-2. So it's coming down. We're in a barn burner. So let's dive in and talk about.
Nobody's making money off of it.
No.
And if y'all, somebody just hit a pretty nice jackpot a while ago, and I think that might be why Tim's sweating over here right now. Let's go ahead and jump on to college. And you want to start out, Joey?
Sure, I will. Man, like you say, it gets tougher and tougher. I'm gonna kind of go away from the FCS. I'm gonna go UL Lafayette minus 12.5 against UL Monroe.
What page are we looking at here?
Page two.
Page 2. Okay.
Bottom.
What is it again, Joey?
Lafayette minus 12.5 against ULM. That's a huge rivalry, and those two schools do not like each other. And I think Lafayette's going to add to ULM's woes.
Yeah, that game, as I was doing the quick early breeze through the lines, that game jumped out to me for some reason. And I don't know a lot about either one of the teams, but it jumped out. I meant to go back and look into it, and didn't quite make the cut of games I looked into. But something told me that was going to be a good game.
I don't want to pick against UL Monroe because my good buddy Sam Weems up there with Wardo's and with Waterfront Grill up there. I don't want him mad at me because I don't want him to ban me from the restaurants or anything like that. So I'm not going against UL Monroe. Good pick, though. I can see that. In the tradition of letting you go last, I'll jump in. I said earlier that this is probably my dumbest pick of the year, but I said earlier that Oregon, I thought they were going to blow out Oregon State this week. So I'm a man of integrity, so I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to take Oregon. Even though it's a 13.5-point spread, I'm going to take Oregon. I think they're going to show up and prove a point this week.
All right.
That shock you?
Yeah, that's a tough game. Tough game. Oregon's been doing pretty well against the spread, though, so we'll see. I had a hard time. While you were away for a minute, Joe and I were talking. I think I have 4 or 5 games circled on this piece of paper, so I had a hard time deciding which one it was going to be. But I'm going to go.
It was that alarm going. I was that ringer going off over there.
I'm gonna go with one that I never would pick. Kind of a team that I never get behind. It's that old saying, you can't bet with your heart.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a very tough game. I think it could be decided by 3, and so I'm going to take that extra hook and go Ohio State plus 3.5.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
So Michigan, of course, without a coach on the sidelines. Both undefeated and got a lot going on. I'm going to take that extra half a point and hope that the game ends up in a 3-point victory for Michigan.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are thinking Ohio State might just pull it out outright.
It's not what I'm rooting for, but that would work for my pick.
Okay, well, let's jump over to the pro side of things. Joey, what are you thinking this week?
What did you pick? What was your pick?
Oh, he went.
I'm sorry. I had Oregon.
Oregon,
yeah. First page.
Plus 13.5. Minus 13.5,
yeah.
Right down there.
Mm-hmm. Oregon Ducks.
NFL, I think the Chiefs are going to take it out on the Raiders, so I've got them minus 9.5.
Y'all been on the Chiefs. Let Joey down? I mean, let Tim. You sure? I'm going to give you is that your final answer? Because you know the Swifty train let Tim down last week.
I know.
So.
Can I buy a vowel?
You want to lock it in?
Yes.
You want a life? You want to call a friend?
If he's over there, yeah.
We're all here, Joey.
Check and see if that's a relative of mine.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Okay, so final answer, Chief, for the Joey. The Fighting Joeys. Again, I don't know how smart this is, man. I think this might be one of those that I'm just kind of excited for this franchise, and I like the quarterback. I'm going to take Houston. Jacksonville is a 1-point favorite over Houston. But I'm going to go with Houston, man, on that. I think Stroud has been – their defense is pretty good. Stroud's been really surprising. I think I'm just rooting for him more than anything, but I'm going to take Houston on that.
All right. I'll round it out. I'm taking Philadelphia Eagles minus 3.5 against the Buffalo Bills.
See, I told you last week whenever it was the Chiefs and the Eagles, I said I would have went with the Eagles on that. But he didn't want to listen. He didn't want to listen. Nah. And apparently,
he wouldn't wrote it in, would he?
I can't say you should listen because we have the same exact records.
We got to figure something out because Joey cannot win this by a push.
Yeah, well,
that's got to be in the rules somewhere that the push can't be the deciding factor.
Here's the thing, like you brought up earlier in the year, if it comes down to it, we have a 3-man committee, a 3-man voting committee, so I think we can make some things happen.
Dustin, they're making up rules again.
Dustin doesn't get a vote. He's behind the camera. Anything you want to say before we get out of here? I see some good food coming, so I want to
keep it quick.
Before we get there, anything you want to say?
Just want to wish everybody out there a happy Thanksgiving. Obviously, we're doing the show a little earlier this week so that everybody can spend time with their friends and family and enjoy Thanksgiving, and just remember to be thankful. We all have a lot to be thankful for every day when we wake up on this side of the daisies. So
that's right. Sure. That's right. And I'm thankful for this amazing food that's coming out to us here. What is this? What do we have coming out?
It's our gumbo.
Gumbo, man.
Your gumbo, son.
Yummy.
So our chef actually just changed up the gumbo recipe about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I've had it more times than I care to admit since we changed up the recipe, and it is delicious. So
nice.
They make it fresh in the kitchen from the roux up, and it is good. Dig in. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about it.
Yes, indeed.
And my wife is still amazed that we have not had the same meal. 16 weeks?
Look, and again, before we get out of here, come down here when you're watching the games. Don't just think, we're going to go down and watch the games. Or I don't want to be offensive to anybody out there, so I'm trying to think of how to word this. This isn't your typical bar food or sports bar food. It's legit food down here.
Yes.
I mean, even if you just want to come down and eat, this is legit food that you guys are bringing out every week.
Our chef and our kitchen team take a lot of pride in making sure that the food that comes out of that kitchen is something that we can be proud of. So
yeah, well, we appreciate you guys. We're appreciative. We're thankful for all the fans. This is, I think, number 16, if I'm not mistaken. This is number 16 we're thankful for this opportunity. We're thankful for the fans that, not the fans, that's a weird word to say, followers, the people who follow us, viewers, yeah. The viewers and the people who have engaged with us and everything, we're very grateful for that. Grateful for Magnolia Casino and all of our awesome partners. God bless everybody out there. Happy Thanksgiving. And as always, have a champion day.
We want to shout out all of our awesome partners, including Hicks Chiks, Trinity Medical, Gregg Vet, Magnolia Bluff Casino, Weeks Furniture, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.